Well, good afternoon and live from Texas, this is The Will Cain Show, and we begin with a Fox News alert. We are witnessing history in the making. President Trump proving once again he is the peace president, announcing a historic deal ending 2 years of war in the Middle East and securing the release of 48 hostages.
We ended the war in Gaza and really, on a much bigger basis, created peace. And I think it's going to be a lasting peace, hopefully an everlasting peace. Peace in the Middle East. We secured the release of all of the remaining hostages, and they should be released on Monday or Tuesday. It'll be a day of joy. I'm going to try and make a trip over. We're going to try and get over there. And we're working on the timing, the exact timing. We're going to go to Egypt, where we'll have a signing, an additional signing.
It's a deal that took months to put together. Secretary of State Marco Rubio praised President Trump for saving lives.
Yesterday was a human story. And because of the work you put in, and honestly, not only is there no other leader in the world that could have put this together, Mr. President, but frankly, I don't know of any American president in the modern era that could have made this possible. Because of the actions you have taken unrelated to this, and because of who you are and what you've done and how you're viewed. And this weekend, because of that, at some point very soon, we are going to see 20 living human beings emerge from the darkness into the light.
All 48 hostages in Gaza should return home next week. But as you heard it mentioned there, 20 are still believed to be alive, while 28 have been confirmed dead, 2 of which are Americans. Now, we called President Trump the peace president. We say that because it's a recognition of his accomplishments. Many presidents failed to do this, but not President Trump. From the Middle East to Armenia and Azerbaijan, the list goes on. President Trump has secured peace across the globe. To suggest that it deserves the Nobel Peace Prize is almost underselling this moment in history. Why? Because it is a moment that has defied presidencies for decades. Let me show you over at the wall. Peace between Israel and the Palestinians has been elusive for almost every American presidency dating back to the 1970s. If we run past and through quick attempts, you'd start with the 1978 Camp David Accords. That was a framework that began to give autonomy to Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza. In 1982, President Reagan put together his peace plan. It was a proposal for a 5-year autonomy period for the Palestinians. And then in 1988, the Schultz Initiative called for an international conference to set up self-government for the Palestinians. Here's what President Ronald Reagan had to say at the time about his peace plan.
There must be a period of time during which the Palestinian inhabitants of the West Bank and Gaza will have full autonomy over their own affairs. The purpose of the 5-year period of transition, which would begin after free elections for a self-governing Palestinian authority, is to prove to the Palestinians that they can run their own affairs and that such Palestinian autonomy poses no threat to Israel's security.
The efforts continued into the presidencies of the first President Bush and into the presidencies of President Clinton and the second President Bush. You had the Madrid Conference in 1991. That was a combined effort between the U.S. and the Soviets and tried to include a negotiation contingent that had Palestinians involved. In 1993, the famous Oslo Accords was the first formal mutual recognition. There was a framework for a 5-year period of Palestinian self-rule. In 1988, the Wye River Memorandum, that's the U.S. attempting to implement the Oslo II Accords. And then in 2000, the Camp David Summit the U.S. hosted in a final push to try to get this thing to peace, but it collapsed, notably over Jerusalem. President Bush had this to say about his efforts in 2003.
My vision is 2 states living side by side in peace and security. We can overcome the darkness with the light of hope. Peace requires a new and different Palestinian leadership so that a Palestinian state can be born.
3 decades of American presidencies, multiple presidencies, trying to get to the moment that we sit today in history. And it continued under Barack Obama and Joe Biden. In 2005, by the way, there was the Gaza Agreement on movement and access in the area. That was a U.S.-EU brokered agreement. In 2007, you had the Annapolis Conference under President Bush. The U.S. hosted attempts to relaunch a roadmap, still resulted in no final deal. And then in 2014, under President Obama, John Kerry led negotiations. It also ultimately collapsed. Here's what was said by then Secretary of State John Kerry.
The two-state solution is the only way to achieve a just and lasting peace. It is the only way to ensure Israel's future as a Jewish and democratic state. Both sides must act now to preserve the possibility of peace. I'm also here to share my conviction that there is still a way forward if the responsible parties are willing to act.
More than 50 years of American presidencies and 7 American presidents attempting to find the place where we sit today. Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.